Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Mutiara Nabila. I'm from English Education A. Okay, I wanna read about 6 everyday life in the Soviet Union, the shopping run. The elder Hedrick Smith was head of the New York Times office in Moscow from 1971 to 1974. The following passage is adapted from Mr. Smith's book, The Russians, which was published in 1976 by Quadrangle or the New York Times Book Company. 1. I had heard about consumer shortage before going to Moscow, but only when we began to shop there did the Russian customers' problem really have meaning for me. Customers they were overweighted lines, but Soviet lines have a special quality all their own. Typically, the Soviet woman spends 2 hours a day in line, 7 days a week. Personally, I have known of people who stood in line 90 minutes to buy 4 pineapple and 3.5 hours to buy 3 large of cabbage, only to find the cabbage were gone they opposite the front of the line. Lines can run from a few yards to nearly a mile. Some friends of ours watched a line of people in Moscow signing up to buy rugs. The line lasted 2 days and nights and ran for across all truck and apartment development. 2. In spite of all of this, the natural reaction of a Russian woman when she sees a line forming is to get it immediately, even before she knows what is being sold. However, Soviet lines are more fluid than they appear in most stores. For example, shoppers must stand in not one but 3 lines for any purchase. The first, to select a purchase and find out its price. The second, to pay a cashier somewhere else in the store and get a receipt. And the third, to go pick up the purchase and turn the receipt. 3. But in their story one morning, I found out the game is both simpler and more complex than that. I went in to buy some cheese, butter, and bologna sausage, which were in 3 separate departments, each with its own line, 9 lines. 4. Rather quickly, I noticed that experienced shopper were skipping the first stage. They knew but most items cost, so they went directly to the cashier for the receipt. After studying price, I did that too. Then I went to the cheese line. The longest, probably 20 people, to get the worst over with first. I was in line less than a minute when the woman in front of me asked me to hold her place. She darted off to the butter and milk line. The cheese line was moving so slowly that she got her butter and milk and returned it before we had advanced 3 feet. I decided to take the rice too, and I got back with my butter while the cheese line was still enjoying alone. 5. Then it suddenly occurred to me that all over the store people were getting into line, holding places, leaving, returning. Everyone was using the cheese line as home base. That was why it was barely moving. It came expanding in the middle. So I got the man behind me to hold me my place, and I went off to buy my bologna. And again, I worked it to me 20 22 minutes to buy butter, sausage, and cheese, but instead of being forced, I felt as if I had beaten the system. 6. This competitive shopping gives an atmosphere of tension to Russian life. People barge into store and bump into each other with face-hidden combative expression. You have to understand, said a kind, gray-haired person, that for as long as we can remember, shopping has been a stranger, life is stranger. 7. There is hardly any effective advertising to help suffer. American complain about the constant commercial in the United States, but they might reconsider if they were exposed to the consumer blackout in Russia. A typical Soviet and might be, if you want to live a ripe old age and be beautiful, modest, drug and trouble, drying tea, most newspaper published without it. The shopper has no handy yellow page or daily newspaper, supermarket or department store as to help her decide where to shop. 8. Bribery is widespread. Low paid 80 to 20 monthly selector take a portion of attractive items and sell them directly to regular customers who have either left a bribe in advance or can be counted on to pay a high price on delivery. 10 to 15 rubles on a 60 ruble raincoat is standard. In 1966, the ruble was equivalent to 122. 9. So common is this practice that the Soviet press is always complaining about it, but it doesn't know any good. Crocodile, the Soviet humor magazine, also with a department store employee promoting some newly arrived items. Their consumer in the leather goods department. 500 important women's purses have been received. 450 of the have been brought by store employees. 49 are under the counter and have been ordered in advance for friends. One purse is in the display window. We invite you to visit the leather department to buy this purse. Okay, that was my video. Sorry for my mistake, and as I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.